Alright, Raiders. What I'm going to say something that might sound crazy in Arc Raiders, but I just didn't care about the expedition, and I don't think you guys should too. Basically, it isn't because it wasn't important, and it's not because the rewards weren't good, and definitely just not because I didn't understand its value. I didn't care because I understood the cost. And that's the part most players, especially beginners and casuals like me and you, never stop to calculate. When the expedition came around, everyone treated it like a moment you had to take advantage of, as though if you didn't grind it, you were falling behind. Like this was the one window where real progress happened. But for me, I already knew I wasn't in a position to pay what it demanded. And that decision, just not caring, is exactly why this matters for every future expedition that Arc Raiders will ever run. Because they will always come back, and the lesson will always be the same. The expedition isn't just content, it's a test of investment. Not just in gear, but in time, preparation, and just all in all consistency. To really benefit from an expedition, right, you need hours. Not 1 or 2 lucky runs. Hours. You need map familiarity burned into your head. You need confidence in fights. You need enough money that losing a kit just doesn't alter your mood for literally the rest of the day. And that's where reality hits for a lot of players, because not everyone can put in those hours. I for sure just couldn't. I had outside obligations like, life stuff, time constraints, days where I couldn't log in and grind like it was a second job, and that instantly puts me and others like you at a disadvantage in something like an expedition. Not because we're bad, but because Arc Raiders just doesn't care why you're unprepared. The expedition rewards players who can stack repetition. Casuals and beginners literally do not get that luxury. So here's the part that people don't like admitting. The expedition is designed for players who already have momentum. If you're already rich, it makes you richer. If you're already confident, it sharpens you. If you're already consistent, it accelerates you. But if you're still building foundations, it drains you. Time, money, energy, all at once. That's literally why I just didn't care, because I knew exactly what would happen if I forced it. I'd go in underprepared, lose kits I couldn't easily replace, feel pressure to, in quotations, make it worth it, and just start playing worse because of that pressure. So that's not progress, it's just self-sabotage disguised as ambition. Laugh my flipping ass off. And this is where beginners especially get trapped. You see like clips, you'll see streamers, you see people pulling insane loot and making it look effortless. What you don't see, right, is the thousands of hours behind the comfort, the economic buffer, the experience that turns chaos into routine. So when a beginner or casual goes in thinking, oh, I'll just try a few times, they're not playing the same game, they're literally gambling with worse odds. Arc Raiders is unforgiving like that. It doesn't scale difficulty based on your situation. The expedition doesn't care if you had time to practice or not. It doesn't care if you're learning. It only responds to preparation. What most players don't understand is that not engaging with something can be a strategic decision. I wasn't ignoring the expedition because it didn't matter. I was ignoring it because I knew it would matter more later. That's a huge difference. In fact, that is the biggest difference. Instead of chasing it, I focused on things that actually matched my situation. Learning maps slowly, building money consistently, getting comfortable with fights when I had nothing to lose. Playing in a way where death didn't feel like punishment. That's what casuals and beginners honestly just need to hear. You don't need to touch every event. You don't need to maximize every opportunity. You don't need to play like someone who has 10 times your hours. You need sustainability. And this is why this conversation will always be relevant. Arc Raiders will always have expeditions. Every season, every cycle, some version of this content will return. And every time, new players will feel the same pressure. They'll ask the same questions. They'll feel the same FOMO. They'll make the same mistake of forcing content that they just literally aren't ready for. And that's why understanding this now really does matter. Because once you accept that progression isn't about touching everything, it's about timing, the game changes completely. Here's the villain truth. Well, my truth, because I play this game as a villain. Or our truth if you adopt the villain truth. Missing an expedition doesn't put you behind, okay? Get it in your head. Forcing it can, though. Progression in Arc Raiders isn't about peaks, it's about consistency. If you can only play casually, that is fine, but you have to play smart. That means choosing content that pays you back instead of punishing you for ambition. The expedition will always return. Your economy, your confidence, and your enjoyment might not if you burn them chasing something you just literally was not ready for. So no, I didn't care about the expedition. I cared about staying solvent. I cared about not turning the game into stress. I cared about building toward a point where next time I could engage on my terms. That's not weakness, that's honestly just restraint. And in Arc Raiders, restraint wins more often than ego ever will. If you're a beginner, a casual, or someone who felt pressured by the expedition, you're honestly just not alone, truthfully, and you're not behind. Drop a like if this helped reframe things for you. Subscribe if you want grounded Arc Raiders content that actually respects your time. There will always be another expedition. Make sure you're still enjoying the game when it arrives.